What if the thing that you're rejecting today would actually be the thing that makes you move? I brought it up in one of my episodes and I'm like, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna actually create a whole story about that specific example. When I started with my everyday challenge on YouTube, I wanted to make it as easy as possible. So I had my home set up, always at the same spot, just doing it that way made it feel something I can sustain. But as you go on, eventually that also kind of makes you very, limited. I noticed also how sometimes I would have to do things outside and I wasn't able to film. And then I would really have a time restraint because my setup was a home-based setup. And then one day my charger broke, water got into it, and I couldn't film for too long because I had to be very careful with the battery life. I already ordered a new battery, but it took some time for it to arrive, right? And so I decided to still show up. And the only thing that I had working was my camera of my iPhone. And I was like, you know what? It should be good enough. I honestly did not like what it turned out to be. But either way, I was so proud of myself that I still showed up, that I still created an episode, that I, even though I didn't like what it came out to be, still published it. I think an older version of me would never do that, because it would have been, it would not be good enough for my standards. But my commitment of showing up was bigger than my standards. What it eventually led me to was this. It opened up the question of how much do I want to show about my personal life? How much do I want to show about my son? And it also gave me feedback on the fact that, hey, if I do more outside, I actually become more flexible. I get to do more stuff because I'm not tied to this home setup. And that eventually made me decide to invest in an external camera, not just my phone. From there, this whole evolution came where I became a better storyteller. I became a great editor. People even complimented me about, like, hey, Ash, this is not just a vlog, this is a whole documentary. And this is why I want to ask you this. For someone that has high standards, right? I can only imagine you have too. So what if the thing that you're rejecting today is actually the thing that would move you forward? Because you don't become better by waiting until everything is perfect and up to your standards. You become better by showing up, by repetition, by making adjustments and adjusting, but not standing still, guys. It would have been so easy for me to be like, well, let's just wait for the charger to arrive, and then I will just make a few more episodes once it's there and explain to people that, I couldn't show up because I didn't have my charger and therefore I couldn't use my home setup. No, I'm like, no, that's an excuse. I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna do it with the means that I have, because it's more important for me to show up than to show up perfect, than to do it perfect. The imperfect episode showed me that I wanted to improve in, doing a little bit more editing and all of that. It showed me that I actually want to show more of my life and not keep it hidden. I made very clear decisions for myself of where my boundaries were, and then I just embraced it. And so I have now become a better storyteller, right? I've become a better editor and all of that. And that's all because I embrace the ugliness. I embrace the messiness. The thing I almost didn't publish, that I almost didn't even end up showing up for, is the thing that showed me the path forward. Think about that. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you in tomorrow's episode.